if my fiance says to me, I really don't like you, that's going to hurt because my
Yeah.
thoughts are going to be, what did I do? Is he upset with me? Oh my goodness, like what's going on? And I'm going to freak out. Those thoughts are what create the negative emotion. It's not the words, because the words from the stranger had no impact on me,
Yeah.
because my thoughts were, that was weird, that was strange, I don't know what that's about, and I just kept on moving. So when you take that and you kind of apply it big picture, even in my own experience, I went to another firm thinking I was going to be happy and I wasn't. My clients have these amazing resumes and all these accolades, and they're not happy because
Yeah.
none of those things create that for them. They get like a momentary feel good from getting the thing checked off their list, but it doesn't last because they don't have existing long-standing beliefs that create happiness for them. A lot of times when they're chasing those things, the job, the money, the marriage,
Yeah.
it's because only then will they allow themselves to believe, I'm good, I'm happy, I'm successful, whatever the thought may be. And then they feel happy for a minute, but it doesn't last because it's not a real thought that they're really connected with. They're tying it so closely to something that it's not a thought that they're used to practicing day in and day out. So they just look for one more thing to
Yeah.
allow them to believe that for a moment, and they just keep chasing it. So, you know, with me, when I went to another firm, like I was just as unhappy again over time. And I think for a lot of people, when you look back at those things that we chase to try and create happiness, what we'll find is the happiness wears off. And then we go to the next thing, and we go to the next thing, we go to the next thing. And usually the way that we end up feeling in every one of those instances is very similar to how we were
Yeah.
feeling before, because our neural pathways that created that discomfort and created that unhappiness, wherever you go, there you are
It's
with
gonna
those neural
follow.
pathways. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that thinking will follow you. And so, unless and until you do the work to create other neural pathways that run just as regularly, I'm good enough, I'm worthy, it doesn't matter what I do. If that's not your everyday elevator music, you're never going to find happiness anywhere.
Yeah. So it needs to be like a change within ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So happiness doesn't really come from like outside world. Like even those, for example, like a spouse, your spouse not gonna make you happy. You're probably gonna think she's making you happy or him making you happy. It's not actually them. It's about you. How you
Yep.
finding the situation. Sometimes, even though me and my wife, even though we argue, like I find it funny because I'm taking it like whatever is happening with you, I don't really care. It's about me. I'm happy at the moment because
Yeah.
it doesn't come from like a you. I'm happy. That's why we are happy. It's not because of like you're happy, then you're making me happy.
I
So
think that's a really good insight for couples,
yeah,
especially because there's this idea that this other person's supposed to make you happy. And
yeah,
it's like, no, you're really believing like I have a good relationship. We get along very well. Like those thoughts are what are making you feel happy and content in the moment.
yeah,
And that other person doesn't control that. And so it kind of creates this weird, unhealthy dependency on each other, which again really prevents us from doing our own work to clean up our own thoughts and invest in our happiness on our own. And that's not to say that I think we should be happy all of the
mm,
time. And I get that pushback a lot, like, oh, I'm just supposed to think happy thoughts every day all the time. Like that'd be great. And my
life doesn't
answer
go
is
like that way.
no, it does.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I reference the yin and yang a lot in my practice. And I think it's a beautiful illustration of life is good and bad. And in all
yeah,
good, there's a little bit of bad and vice versa. And humans are the same way, and your job is the same way. We are the same way.
yeah,
And when we can recognize that, okay, today's a bad day, like I'm in the 50-50 of my life, tomorrow's going to be better. And
yeah,
this 50-50 is awesome because it lets me know when I'm in the good. Like it serves a purpose. And when we can embrace that part of our life and be open to it in the same way that we can embrace happiness, it's like we let go of this struggle. Like nothing is
definitely.
wrong here. I'm having a bad day. I'm not in a good headspace, and that's all right. Like it's nothing that needs to be fixed.
Yeah,
This is the balance.
yeah. So same analogy works like spouses. So that can work in a workplace as well. Like
Yeah.
you mentioned, like you change your workplace, went to a different company and trying to find like a scenario would be changed, but it didn't really happen. Only
Mhm.
thing what you did is you change yourself. You solved your problem within yourself, not the company owner, not the whoever above you, like your manager or whoever your senior level. You
Mhm.
change it within yourself, and then you started to find out the happiness because the whole
Yeah.
environment changed within yourself, right?
That's it, right. And if, to take it a little bit more granular,
Yeah,
we have these neural pathways that keep running, and I call it our crappy elevator music. And those neural pathways, they just keep running in the background. Those thoughts that run those neural pathways are what are creating those emotions. And so when
mm,
we go to a new place, those neural pathways just keep running, creating the same emotions. Of course they do, right? I mean, that's what they're
yeah,
designed to do. And so, unless and until you can change those neural pathways and truly rewire your brain to reach for healthier thoughts, more balanced thoughts, and create new elevator music, you change, and then your
yeah,
happiness changes.
yeah. So summarize like them three together. So everything will be like we taking control of our life, right?
Mhm.
So it not only for lawyers, it could be like any person because our listeners could be like anyone. Could be staying a single mom or like a business person or could be a motivational speaker or someone else. Like
Mhm.
everyone could be different. So to summarize them three things we talked about, owning our power, owning our thoughts, and owning our own happiness would be like taking control of our life. If boss saying something else in the workplace, an example, we need to speak up. Like we have to have like a communication, right?
Mhm.
This is something is not right. Just can you elaborate? Right.
Yeah, and I love that example. And again, this came up just last night with a client.
Yeah.
We were talking about how when your boss yells at you, and says like you're an idiot, that shouldn't have happened. And these conversations happen in
Yeah.
practicing law. People will tell you you're an idiot, you totally messed up. We can take that and internalize it. I'm an idiot, I totally messed up, and it feels
Yeah.
terrible. Or we can let our boss say that and we can decide what we want to make that mean and what we want to think about that, right? That's
Yeah.
the power piece. And then we choose the thought like, he's having a bad day. I don't know what he's mad about. I didn't really miss anything. I don't even know if you read it. Like, you could believe any of those thoughts, choose
Yeah.
any of those thoughts, and then decide from there how you want to show up.